Alright, this video is very different. I'm basically going to talk about my cancelled SnapMap ideas or ideas I wanted to take advantage of before I just got burnt out on mapping for Doom 2016. With that said, if any of these ideas seem enticing to you mappers out there, go ahead and use them. You don't have to pay any credit to me since I didn't make these maps. They were just ideas I just came up while mapping. I always seem to come up with ideas of maps when I was mapping whatever map I was trying to complete. For some reason, I don't know why I tend to be like that, but hey, at least it inspired me to make this video. Anyways, here are some of my cancelled SnapMap ideas I couldn't use since I just stopped mapping. I always wanted to complete a Doom 2 port to SnapMap, and to be honest, I think it is possible to do so with SnapMap, especially now you can turn off the network. I tried to remake maps that people didn't remake, but I just lost desire to do so since I got tired of doing them since I've made so many remakes. I just wanted to stop, but I would love to see the remaining levels to be remade, especially downtown or a proper Barrels of Fun, since we can totally make that more accurate to the original version with what we have in SnapMap. Not only that, I'm just a big classic Doom fan, and seeing remakes always makes me feel great for SnapMap, and it does encourage me to play it for sure. And just in case you want to know why I wanted to remake Doom 2 maps, and that is because Doom 2 is my all-time favorite Doom game. Speaking of Doom 2 remakes, I wanted to remake my all-time favorite Perdition's Gate map, and that is Map 27 Hell's Masterpiece. I wish I could have, done this remake, but as you can tell from my Doom 2 remake comments, I just lost desire to making these remakes, and it's so possible to pull it off in SnapMap too. I mean, I know there's going to be like a couple of sacrifices here and there, but it would have been great to end my remake maps with my all-time favorite Perdition's Gate map from a Doom 2 Megawatt I truly enjoy. I'm not gonna lie, I really do regret not making this remake, and who knows, maybe my feelings will come to me and possibly make me want to come back making this map for myself, just to experience it in a SnapMap format, since I love that map so much, and I think it could definitely work well with SnapMap's mechanics too. I'll also add in another map that wasn't a Doom 2 map, but it's still related to Doom 2 in a way. I wanted to remake Map 32 from Plutonia, but I just didn't have the desire to do so back in the free update 2 days, since it wasn't my favorite map, and even though it would be interesting to see how I would take advantage of the SnapMap's mechanics and limitations, I just lost complete motivation to finish it. And yes, I actually did, work a bit on that map, but never managed to finish it. I didn't want to just remake Doom 2 maps, but I actually had desire to remake at least one Duke Nukem 3D map, and that was Hollywood Holocaust. I had the desire to make it all cyberpunky, but there were times where I'm like, I want to make this map, as close to the original as possible. But yeah, I just lost too much interest in making remakes, and that's why this map never saw its light of day. It's extremely possible to remake it in SnapMap for sure. Hell, I think you can still make it really good without turning off the network too. Somebody do it, please. I had thoughts of making Dysphoria Part 2 or like a spiritual successor when I was getting close to finishing the original map, because I thought the first map was the most coolest map I've made due to the concept, and I thought why not expand upon it. However, I just wanted the original map to feel unique and distinctive compared to my other work, and that is why I canceled the second map. I love making cyberpunk themed snap maps, since I think there's still a lot you can do to create those Blade Runner-esque visuals, and I'm just a big fan of Doom and the cyberpunk world together. So I would love to see if more people can try to tackle this concept, since I no longer map anymore, but I do hope we will still see some of these kinds of maps from you current authors out there. I do have my experimental side, and this map is perhaps one of my most experimental map idea I came up. I wanted to make a map where I just use a bunch of assets from various SnapMap authors and just make a map out of it. I wouldn't use any of my ideas or assets I've done in my maps. It's just a bunch of people's maps and see what I can do with 1 to 2 grid rooms of their assets. I think this can be a cool concept if people really enjoy playing other authors' maps and try to make a map that pays tribute to them. I never approached it since I thought I would lose my desire to finish it, since I felt like the map wouldn't connect to me as much, since it isn't a map I'm making for myself when you think about it clearly. So yeah, I never bothered to use this idea for a SnapMap. Here's another map that isn't like a traditional Doom Snap map. I wanted to make a map where you play as an abusive kid who ends up being a school shooter. I thought this would make a great concept for my first horror map and just break out the horror cliches like darkness, jump scares, foggy atmosphere. Like, I think making a map that's based on a very real issue and thing that can happen at any time is the true meaning of horror. I think this map would definitely be my most edgiest map for sure, but I didn't do it since I just thought it wouldn't have as much replay value compared to what I usually make, and that is something that's a big no-no for me since it takes a lot of time to make these maps and I want to have a desire to come back to them when I finish them. Last but not least, this idea was probably the one I wanted to see the SnapMap community as a whole to pull it off. I wanted us to make our own community chest, basically a pile of maps that is a campaign, but various mappers would make their own maps and just make a campaign out of it, just like the classic Doom community chest concept. But I think what made me not do it was because I was starting to lose interest in mapping, and I think communication would be a serious problem since we're all on different platforms. So yeah, I never got to push that idea forward, but I think it would definitely be cool to see some of the best mappers just get together and make a campaign together, you know. But when I think about it, you know, there are a decent amount of mappers who quit mapping for various reasons, and I think it's just kind of too late, unfortunately. There you go, those were my canceled SnapMap ideas, and I hope you guys enjoyed them. Did you have any canceled SnapMap ideas or SnapMaps you had of your own?